You know what, you guys? People these days are buying consoles for really dumb reasons. And just go into any GameStop and you'll see what I mean. Kids and other people buying consoles for the wrong reasons. And I'm gonna give you just a few of them. Because this is Retro Davo's top 10 dumbest reasons of why to buy a new console. So let's hop into it.
Number 10. Blu-rays.
You have got to be kidding me with this one. Buying a console just so you can watch Blu-ray? I mean, sure, if you don't want to buy a Blu-ray player and a console, then maybe this is a good choice for you. But to buy a console simply so you can watch Blu-ray and you're not a gamer is stupid. There are other ways to watch Blu-ray. It's called a frickin' Blu-ray player, and you can get one for about $50. You're an idiot if that's the reason you want a new console.
Number 9. New and better controller.
What kind of brain are you using? You just want a new console because you like the feel of the controller? Better? I mean, how much different is a frickin' DualShock 3 from a DualShock 4? There's not much of a difference. It still has 2 thumbsticks, 4 buttons, a lousy D-pad, trigger, shoulder buttons. Sure, it has the touch screen and the back touch, but other than that, and a slight redesign, there's nothing. It's still a DualShock. And as for the Xbox One controller, it's still a frickin' Xbox controller. It's just more uncomfortable. So don't tell me you need a new console because the controller's better. You're full of bullshit. You want a good example? Take a look at this. So yeah, see? When PS1 and the PlayStation came out, the controller looked like this. But later on, they added... Sorry? The thumb triggers. Now what does this look like to you? This looks more like what we know as the PlayStation controller today, right? 2 triggers, the D-pad, analog sticks, the select and start button, and the 4 buttons. Moving on to the PS2. How much really looks different here? Nothing. Exactly my point. Nothing. In fact, you can use PS1 controllers on PS2. They really didn't change anything. Now, DualShock 3. They did change some things. It was the first one that was wireless. And it synced using Bluetooth. But other than that, and they made the triggers come out a little better, but other than that, it really is the same old controller. So, see what I mean, guys? You can't say that you want the next gen console of the PlayStation simply because you like the feel of the controller. I mean, yes, it looks a bit different and they redesigned it, but overall it's the exact same layout. And yeah, even with the original Xbox. I know this is a Model 2, but here's the original Xbox controller. You got the thumbstick in the upper left-hand corner. You got the D-pad. You got the other thumbstick. Middle it says Xbox. You got your X, Y, B, and A buttons. And you got the triggers. And start and select, plus these two buttons over here. Now, looking at that, let's take a look at the 360. Not a whole lot different. So don't be complaining that they make dramatic changes. They don't. So yeah, see? All the way from the PS1 up to the PS3, and you all probably know by now what a PS4 controller is like, so don't tell me there's major improvements. There isn't. So that's not enough reason to buy a new console.
Number 8. The latest sports games.
Now I know, this one's gonna hurt someone that I actually know, but I don't give a crap, because her reasoning for buying a PS4 is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And you can even check out her YouTube channel, but I'm not gonna mention her name. But anyways, they want to buy a brand new PS4 just so they can play the latest wrestling games, when we're still getting the latest wrestling games on the PS3. So buying a PS4 just to play the latest in wrestling games is the stupidest reason I've ever heard. Why not just buy a PS3 or an Xbox 360? We're getting the same new sports games on the PS3. It's a stupid reason to buy a PS4. If you want to buy a PS4, find a different reason. But sports games cannot be your stupid only reason to buy a PS4. And that goes for all you baseball, Madden, and all you other fans of sports games out there. It's not the latest in that series. Wrestling, baseball, football, I don't care what it is. Sports games, the latest in sports games are not a good enough reason to buy a next-gen console.
Number 7. Better games than Nintendo.
This next one really pisses me off. Has a better library of games than Nintendo. Well, I got one thing to say to that. It's simple. You're full of crap! Nintendo is known, always, even if they don't have the most powerful hardware, they always have the best lineup of games. Even the Wii U, as few Wii U's as it's sold, it has the best library compared to the PS4 or the Xbox One. So don't tell me you want a next-gen console because it has better games than Nintendo. That's ridiculous. Come on, Nintendo has Smash Brothers. It has Mario Kart, Mario Maker, and many, many other beloved series. I'm sorry, but Nintendo has the best lineup of games, not the PS4 or Xbox One. I'm sorry. It's called exclusives, people. Like Rise of the Tomb Raider. This was just released for the Xbox One. And yet, somehow we got a port of it on the 360. And I've played this, and it's not glitchy at all. It's a great version of Rise of the Tomb Raider. So, Rise of the Tomb Raider, even though it was promised to be an exclusive, it isn't. It's not a good enough reason to buy the Xbox One. The Xbox One and the PS4's libraries are very similar, other than like Halo and a few others. So, Sorry. Nintendo still has the best game library.
Number 6. Nintendo is for kids.
Really? Really?
Number 5. Streaming to Twitch.
That's really why you want a next-gen console? Just so you can stream? Well, I'll tell you, folks. There's other freaking ways to stream your games than a console with streaming capabilities built in. You know what it's called? It's called a capture card. And this is a great one that has streaming capability built right in when you download the software once you buy it. This is the Elgato Game Capture HD. And look at this. It comes with this component cables that actually act as composite cables as well. And you just attach it to the S-Video slot. And it also takes HDMI. And you can also hook up, it has a special wire as well that you can attach to your PS3. So you don't need a next-gen console to stream, people. That's the stupidest load of shit I've ever heard. You can stream your older consoles just with a game capture, and that can actually be used on a PS4 and Xbox One as well. So that's ridiculous, getting a PS4 or an Xbox One just so you can stream. You're gonna have to try harder on me.
Number 4. Only having a Wii.
Oh, but all I have is a Wii! An original Wii! I need a new console! You're full of shit. The original Wii has some awesome games on it that you can't get anywhere else. And I'm not talking about Wii Play, Wii Party, any of those crappy games or those kiddie games. No, I'll show you some awesome games that are on this thing. Metroid Other M came towards the end of the Wii's lifespan, and I'm not going to say too much about this game because I have a full review of it. It was my first Retro Davo episode, so if you want to know more about Other M, go watch it. This one's hard to find. Metroid Prime Trilogy has all 3 main Metroid Prime games, all reworked in the Wii's version of HD. But it's very hard to find. It was released in limited amounts, but pick it up if you find it. And last but not least, the reason to have a Wii, The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. And plus, people preferred, even though they were watered down, preferred the versions of Call of Duty on this thing because the shooting was more accurate with the Wii Nunchuck and the Wiimote. So don't tell me that you need a new console because all you have is a Wii. That's stupid.
Number 3. Netflix.
I need a new console so I can watch Netflix. Netflix stinks. Because things disappear off Netflix. They come and they go. I'd rather have a whole bunch of DVDs in my collection than have Netflix. It's stupid. In fact, I'll show you some things that aren't on Netflix that are awesome. Like, you can't watch Van Halen's video hits on Netflix. You can't watch Van Halen live in concert, the For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge tour on Netflix. You can't watch Van Halen OU812 tour in Japan on Netflix. And you can't watch Van Halen's Live Without a Net tour on Netflix. I know those were all Van Halen, but my point is, you can't watch music videos of your artists on Netflix. And there's other things on Netflix that you can't find. So, don't tell me you just want a new system just so you can watch Netflix. That's stupid.
Number 2. Call of Duty.
Oh, but I need the new console so I can play the newest Call of Duty. You're full of crap. You know why? You don't need a PS4 or an Xbox One to play the new Call of Duty. The multiplayer, as well as the zombies, came out for the PS3. And that's usually what most people like about the Call of Duty games nowadays, is the multiplayer or the zombies. So don't tell me you need a new console just to play Call of Duty. That's ridiculous. Unless you're truly in to the single-player campaign. But that's not what annoys me the most. You want to find out what I think the most ridiculous reason to own a new console is? It's time for number 1.
Number 1.
I want the new one because my console is too old. Yep, that's right. That's what I think is the most ridiculous excuse I've ever heard in GameStop or any gaming store. That their last gen console, like this is a 360, I've seen kids and teenagers go into GameStop, trade their 360 in for a Xbox One or a PS4 or what have you, because they think it's too old. That is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard. There's games still coming out for the 360, as well as the PS3. And also, selling your old console for the new one isn't a good idea, because these eventually are gonna, even though right now they're going down, they're gonna go back up. You know how much an original NES costs right now? $75! Yeah, I have kept all of my consoles since I've gotten them. I've only had to replace them when they've broken. But I've learned to even hold on to my broken ones because there's repair kits out there. So, I'm sorry, you guys. Saying that you need the new console because your last one is too old? Come on, I still have my original Nintendo and my original Sega Genesis. Those things are almost 30 years old, if not more by now. So, you're full of absolute crap if you say you need the new Xbox or the new PS4 because your last gen one is too old. That's full of shit. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content. So, see you soon.